and God forbid you've got to like kind of go in and face check these bushes here. But Yanni, we are on to Summoner's Rift.
We are. We did make it. We are here, and you can see the squad of Fisher College on the red side, Illinois blue or orange. I'm sorry, on the blue side. You can see how that was easy to mess up. But
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. This whole series.
Fisher's team. I mean, take a look at some of these names, man. These are some really, really well-known names. I mean, Topo's been around for a long time. He even used to play for Illini, right? So it was like he played for that team for 4 years, from September of 2016 to September 2020. Nice little revenge game for Charles up in the top lane. Currently a coach over of BlackRock Esports, who is moving on to GSL groups for the NECC Open qualifiers.
Yeah, I also think, familiar bot lane, right? DMK, the 22,000 trick player, right? He's played every single role, I think, in collegiate. Legit, I think he's played everything. And you've got Sword Blue in that bot lane. DMK and Sword Blue, man, they made top 8, I believe, last year on Fisher in CLOL. So they're not a bottom lane to be trifled with by any means. Refugo and Newbie definitely have their work cut out for them if they think it's going to be an easy peasy stomp Senna Nautilus lane.
Yeah, and they lost to UST, right? But they lost to UST 2-1, right?
Yeah.
And that UST roster, super, super powerful. Remember, they won CLOL Championship last year. There was the Shogo Daption lane. If you're able to take a game off of a team like that, definitely shows that you are worth your salt as players. So I'm interested to see how Illini deals with this bot lane. I do think that Senna Nautilus is a good response if they want to play passive.
Yeah, if they kind of just want to play not to lose and even it out here, as Sword Blue is just abusing that Braum and abusing that level 2 spike that they got down here. Yeah, this lane, like I said, Nautilus just not allowed to play the game. I'm not going to say he's completely useless in lane. There are windows of opportunity for you to throw a hook in, to at least trade some damage back, even if it does mean your life here. But this Braum, yep, there you go. He's pretty much primarily trying to go for that Ashe, of course. But this Braum Ashe lane is so oppressive, right? And it's going to have to draw cages down here to relieve some of the pressure that Refuga and Newbie are feeling right now. You can see they just can't trade back effectively.
Yeah, the good news for the side of Illini is that Cages is about a step ahead of this Maokai, right? And, he's just a little bit faster than him. So he's able to get down there first and be able to break them out of the oppression that they're under. That will be really big for Refugo and Newbie down here.
Yeah, and we got Topo in the top lane here, just shoving the Cassante in, but Cassante's completely fine, right? Mm-hmm. He's one of those champions that deceptively will get shoved in, but once you start trading at them, once he starts kind of getting a little bit of levels, backs for his first armor item, then he just starts to become a problem, right? A nuisance in this top side here, and we're going to see Renekton have to abuse these early laning levels, these early lane phase, to really just have a foothold on it, and it's not going to be for long, because eventually, once the ultimate comes out, the outplay potential from Cassante skyrockets to 1,000 here, and I want to keep eye on that once they hit level 6 to see what this Cassante can actually do.
Yeah, you can see Topo definitely having a good trade into Cassante there, and just trying to take more control of the lane. Braum a little too far up, so Sword Blue will take some damage, but not really what you're looking for when you've got a Nautilus on your team, right?
Yeah, that's not ideal. And Radar has snuck into this bot side here. Newbie and Refugo.
Oh, there they go. They're going to engage onto Newbie. Newbie is going to be stunned up very quickly.
He's dead.
I think he's just going to hold on to his flash. He will. It'll be first blood going over to DMK.
Yeah, and Radar just snuck in. There was never an opportunity for Refugo or Newbie to ever ward past their own tri-bush. And even then, they were constantly shoved in. And like you mentioned, DMK holding that wave, that was the idea you were going for. That's what you were about to say, right? He held the wave there, forced Refugo and Newbie to step up. And the moment that happened, Radar in there with the gank immediately. Very well played from them. Like I said, man, this is a top 8 CLOL bot lane. Sword Blue and DMK have been around the block before. This is not new to them.
Yeah, and they're going to use their jungler to help them at every step of the way, if possible. Everybody's like, oh, well, you can't 2v2 us. It's like, well, who cares, man? As long as you got more kills, right? The one thing I don't like here is Sword Blue very low.
Look at Radar.
Could potentially die here, but you mentioned it. Radar coming in for the counter gank here. Newbie does have flash available, and now they're going to go after Refugo. Refugo forced to flash out as well.
Yeah, Newbie and Refugo now flashless here. I wouldn't be surprised if Radar pays him another visit after he bags here. I do want to see Cages abuse the fact that Radar spent a ton of time in that bot side. I want him to go for these grubs here, even if he doesn't have top lane priority. As long as top lane 101 can keep Topo in this top lane, keep him interested, it'll give Cages enough time here, but Noob Sleep Early is here to help out. Topo's a big, scary crocodile. He could ult in 1v2 here.
Yeah, and Rollick is now on his way as well. However, they will take their prize of 2 grubs. So that's been the trade that you've typically seen if the other team isn't going after Dragon. It seems like now more than ever teams are saying, you know what? We'll take 2 grubs. We'll leave the last one up if we're under any pressure. And we don't care. We'll just let them have it. It's okay. 2 for 1. Very good.
Yeah, you don't want to die for the last grub, right? There probably is a world where they skirmish, where they potentially go for it, and yeah, you get 3 grubs, but if you give 2 kills over to Topo, 1 kill over to Rallick, that's not worth 3 deaths, potentially 2 deaths even, is not worth for 3 grubs. You can make the argument 3 grubs for 1 person sacrificing themselves is kind of worth it, but you have to be able to capitalize on that next grub spawn. We'll see how hard Illini tries to play for this. Because they took those 2 grubs and because Radar actually had to run all the way over there, the Dragon trade can't happen, and Radar started on the top side. His top camps are up, so this leaves a window for Illini's bot side and Cages to go for this Dragon for free. Very well played from Cages. The jungle pathing and know-how to abuse Radar's overstay has just been snowballing them in objectives right now.
Yeah, not only Radar's overstay, but also Sword Blues, right? Because they were desynced in the bottom lane on their backs, so obviously, in a 3v2, you probably don't want it, but, you know, you're certainly not going to go for it when it is a 3v1. So good stuff by Cages on the side of Illini. As right now, Shibby, other than that bot lane action we saw, nothing else has really happened. You know, the Karma and Hui are just chilling in the mid lane. You know, Hui missing a little bit of mana and no teleport available is a little worrisome, though.
Yeah, I think they're more than content, both of these guys ping-ponging lanes back and forth. I don't think Illini truly want to fight early. They're just kind of more on that opportunistic kind of skirmishes, right? Let's use numbers advantage. Let's take the objectives where we can. Let's track where Radar is as he's got back in the top and the bottom lane. Just looking for a little bit of over-aggression from Refuga and Newbie. Radar has just been honing in on these 2 guys. I feel like Cages can go for so much more now, if they spot him out at least.
Yeah, this bot lane is definitely on his radar right now. You saw Refugo dealing a lot of damage back to DMK, right?
Oh, look at this.
Going to force them back, and now the 1v1 up top. Dominus popped, but Cassante is going all out, looking to finish off Topo. He does flash away, so he will survive for now, but it's exactly as you predicted, Shibby. Once Cassante gets a couple of levels on him, he's going to be a tough one to fight.
Yeah, first armor item plus level 6, that's where the lane starts to change. I've seen it time and time too often again, right? Cassante is one of those champions that you just know instinctively is they are going to drop Refugo's ultimate here. Nice dive.
Uh-oh. That's stun. Oh, he's going to die. Oh, top lane 101 goes down. Cages will be able to pick it up, but that is a tough loss.
You might be top lane 101, but he should not be teaching any dive 101 classes because that was very, very, very sloppy there. The timings were all off. Refugo used his ultimate, I think, a little too early. You wait for Cages, then you let top lane go in, or you allow Cages to come in first with the winds become lightning so that he can flash out here. Really good from Topo, right? A 1-for-1, despite them sending 2, should allow Radar to at least bare minimum get some finish in. But now, yeah, he's in trouble. He's getting clapped on.
He got knocked up, used that twisted advance, but the engagement is going to go down in full. Radar does get blown up the Hui, just putting him on the pallet there with his blood. Meanwhile, on the other side, Refugo is in a lot of trouble. Even the red buff is helping out Fisher College here as DMK able to close out on that kill.
A 1-for-1 overall, and they save Cages' red buff. They get the kill onto Topo. Illini still trying to be a little proactive, even though a lot of their champions don't want to scrap early, right? Send a Nautilus. They want to wait for an item or so. They want to try to get in your face after, because the center scaling can get really, really disruptive here. But I like that Illini helped their jungler out. They rewarded him with that top lane dive by saying, hey, we'll protect your red buff. We'll make sure Radar doesn't get anything else, because he's been spending a lot of time in that bot lane. So he shouldn't be allowed to get camps off of it, right? He shouldn't be allowed to get into an EXP lead, get into a camp lead. Cages should have full control of tempo, of farming, and all that stuff. And you can see in the CS difference, right? 80 to 61. He's got a nice, almost 5-6 camp lead if we're just talking pure jungle camps here. And they're going to start to play for potentially these 5 grub stack here. But instead, they're going to go on to Radar, who's flashless.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble, but which mid laner is going to get here first? It looks like it's Karma, but it doesn't matter. Radar is the one who goes down. Here. Ooh, big root comes through. Cages is so low. Topo is able to get one. That Dominus doing a lot of damage, making him real big. Double kill for the Croc.
The Dominus just ripping through the Rage Bar as well. Sword Blue once again, just early on the roam, just beating out Newbie by about a second and a half. Is able to help his team, and he's been the one on Fisher that's been saving some of these kind of disaster plays, right? When Radar was caught near that red buff, Sword Blue was there, hammering away on Refugo. Now, when Radar was again caught near grubs, who comes to his rescue? Sword Blue again. The man is just in sync with his jungler, and that's just experience right there.
Hey, listen, when Radar craps his pants on his wedding night, Sword Blue's gonna be there to help him out.
Wherever Radar is, Sword Blue is there waiting in hand. He's still here. Look at him.
He may have bit off a bit more than he could chew. Radar is going to get caught out. Radar jammed there. Counter UAV went up for Illini, and now they are going to get on top of these ropes.
Yeah, Radar trying to limit test a little bit too much on that Maokai. He's not super tanky yet, although they are going to look to try to stop the 5 grub stacking, which, if I'm Fisher, I don't know how worth it is, right? Because top lane 101 is there. I think Illini can go for this.
What is happening?
I don't know why they're backing off. They have numbers advantage. Topo just backed. Go for the 5 grub stack.
I'm not even talking. I'm talking about the grubs. They go so far.
Oh yeah. The range leash is crazy. They will sometimes.
It's so weird.
They'll follow you to turret sometimes. It's how far it goes.
I did see that happen once. Didn't
yeah.
Like,
it happened on LCS.
Result. Yeah, didn't it result in like the turret hitting the grubs too?
Yep. I think they patched that out, but it might still be able to go pretty far. Yeah, it's very, very... Grubs is still new, guys. It's the newest AI spaghetti code in Riot's games, League of Legends here. It has some kinks to work out, but they are going to end up going for this Dragon here. Cages. DMK and the rest...
DMK was forced to flash, so he's got to get around, and that means Radar and Sword Blue can't pull the trigger, but they can go for this Dragon if they want. It does reset. We'll see if they elect to stick with it, and it looks like they will. On the other side, Illini, Noob Sleep Early is just going to shove in this wave for himself. They realize, you know what, we can just give this Dragon up, boys. It's all good.
It's one Mountain Dragon. That's fine. For Illini, it's okay, right? They got their one Dragon. They delayed the game by a little bit. Ooh, nice tank from Newbie.
Newbie is in a lot of trouble. He hooks the wall, keep himself alive, but Refugo gets rooted up and nowhere to go. Can't even flash. Newbie will just barely be able to get out, and now they'll turn onto Cages, but Cages will survive. Sword Blue goes the wrong way, hops over the wall to safety, but now Newbie could be the target again. Very low, and he goes down. His DMK is just so well protected by this offensive line.
I know, right? He's got bodyguards on all sides. Gralic, Sword Blue, Radar. I mean, just allowing DMK to fire away with that lethal tempo, extra range, and Illini looking a little disjointed. Interesting in that Cages would go jump onto Sword Blue, even though Braum still has that ability to jump to a teammate. He can W over. I was fully expecting him to go on to DMK because he hit the Winds Become Lightning on him, and then use the ultimate to knock everybody away, and then you can allow Noob Sleep Early to kind of isolate damage onto DMK, but that wasn't the plan. That wasn't remotely close to what happened. Fisher just ran them over with the numbers advantage, 4v3.
Now, the good news for Illini is that the gold is still even for right now, which is quite surprising, Shibby, I must say, with the way that Fisher has been fighting. And it just seems like they are quite a bit stronger right now, but that did a lot of damage. Malignant's Karma is nothing to mess around with.
Oh yeah, I told you that first item power spike, and she's gonna have that mantra R queue up again really, really quickly. I think the important thing to note, though, despite the gold being even, Yanni, is that Fisher's gold is sequestered on all the right members, right? Your early game top laner Nectin 3-1. Your Ashe that generally has trouble doing damage, she's 4-0 with the Bork, scaling towards that next item. As we can flash towards the gold here, yeah, top lane 600 gold right now ahead, and that's what we see, right? It's all on the right people, while for Illini, it's on Xin Zhao, it's on Hui. It's not wrong necessarily, it's just not enough.
Newbie could be in a lot of trouble, but Radar is going to follow him. They're going to turret dive this. Newbie's going to get some shielding. Members are getting low, but Sword Blue just doesn't take that much damage right now. Cage is looking for the engagement. DMK a little too far forward, and oh my joy, almost took out Refugo. He does! The minions are even on the side of Fisher. 6 kills for DMK.
Oh my, and that was just because Cages was trying to give the kill over to Refugo. Fortunately, he gets stunned up. DMK just drops that Ashe arrow right on top of Refugo's face and just hammering and pelting away at him. Yeah, the minions, unfortunate. A little bit of luck for Fisher here, but with that team fight, Cages and Illini want to go for this Rift Herald.
See if they'll get it. Dominus pop by Topo. He's in the middle of the fight doing a lot of damage to Cages. Trying to get some help from the Cassante up top. But look how low Radar is. And he gets blown up by the Hui. And that means nobody is there to help out Renekton. It's Rollick against the world. But trying to at least stage a comeback here. Sword Blue is here. DMK is here. But off to the side is Refugo. Unabated, just dealing damage to the key members in the back line. And this is going to go down as an ace. No, Sword Blue flashes away. Sword Blue gets struck from the skies. Hui slapping that brush, knocking the devil out of it.
Ooh, top lane 101 with a massive, massive 3-man knockup. Catches Rollick, DMK, and Sword Blue to swing that fight in their favor. Despite the health bars being low, the numbers advantage for them was massive, as we are getting a little bit of screen tearing here on my side. Whoa! Guys, I'm being sucked in.
We're in the Udyr dimension. We're in the Udyr dimension. This is what the Mac Dewey told me about the Udyr dimension. I know Udyr is not in this game, but I feel like that was the Udyr dimension.
You gotta enlighten me on the Udyr dimension. That was the Tron dimension for me. I mean, even I, an avid Udyr player, did not know about that. But we're back in.
I didn't know that Missing No was added to League of Legends.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what happened. We encountered him in a random place. His Cages is encountering everybody. Noob Sleep Early is gonna get hit.
From downtown. DMK have a game 8-2. And that means that they've got all of this real estate to get these wards down. A little bit of dragon advantage, as this Wait doesn't have TP.
Yeah, 15 seconds until the dragon comes up here, and although top lane's fighting, I don't know if this 3-man squad of Cages, Refugo, and Newbie can fight this. DMK, like you said, is so well guarded. He's gonna eat a hook, but it's fine.
Yeah, they were faking the no guard on him. However, they're trying to turn this Refugo, getting some shielding out, but Newbie is going to be caught off on the side. He's just way too slow, and DMK is way too fast.
Yeah, the Karma Shield E coming in, giving that extra move speed, and yeah, getting pelted by DMK here. Gonna be able to complete his second item, right? He's on his way towards whatever I believe it is gonna be a Kraken Slayer for themselves, and that's just gonna make it that much harder to kill. As top lane 101 and Topo are just fighting here. Both guys looking to fight under this turret potentially. Dragon gonna go over to Fisher, and Refugo and Cages. They get a little consolation prize. They get that mid lane tier 1 for themselves. That's going to potentially open up the map for them on future objectives. But Fisher, despite taking a pretty bad fight around the Rift Herald, still swinging back. And the thing is, DMK can easily carry this. I know it's a roughly 2,500 gold lead for Illini, but we talked about where the gold is. And for Fisher, having it on your AD carry is probably one of the biggest things, especially with this Maokai Braum frontline. Noob Sleep Early caught out once again.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Rallick is going to be able to dodge everything out, deal a bunch of damage. He went to melee range, which is a little scary, but he will close out on the kill all the same. And now you can see a return play top potentially.
Yeah, TP is available for Topo if he tries to TP out here, but he's just going to walk it. He's got the Bard chimes.
He manages to survive through that. Does have to burn his flash for it, so I'm sure he's not that happy, but Rift Herald getting used in the top lane.
Someone drive the whip. And I call them Bard Chimes. Realistically, obviously, those are the Infernal Soul Shards.
I like
yeah, but they're mini Bard Chimes, right? They're red Bard Chimes.
Oh, Twitch chat appearance.
There we go. The Void Mites are here in the top side, and I don't know if that's a favorable trade, right? Yeah, you get 2 tier 1s in the mid and the bottom lane for Fisher, but that's 700 gold dropped in the pockets of Illini for that tier 2 top lane. That's also going to allow you to push up your vision line for this upcoming Baron that they potentially might try here. Illini, I think, getting the better of that objective trade.
Well, you have to remember, Shibby, you already mentioned it, the gold going to the key members of Fisher. Rollick was able to get solo turret gold down there. DMK only split with one person. Meanwhile, 700 gold was split, I believe, 3 ways in the top lane. Now, it did go on to some key members. I believe it was Cage's newbie. It might have been top lane 101 too.
Yeah,
honestly, can't remember. But I don't think you get nearly as much value out of that. Now, the only problem is take a look at Kasante's items.
Yeah, DMK is gonna tickle the guy, right? That's what's gonna happen. It's not gonna be a good time if top lane 101 can jump onto DMK. It's gonna be up to Rollick really in that big AP damage onto him, right? Getting those mantra Qs down, rooting him with the W, just keeping Kasante away from the Ashe is the #1 goal for this Karma here, and the #1 goal for Fisher, right? As long as DMK is alive, the fight should be won. The moment someone like Cages, someone like top lane 101 gets on top of Ashe, it's panic, right? It's like ants scattering, like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? As Newbie and Cages are going to clear out some vision here on the bottom side, just to kind of maybe potentially set up a pick. Topo is here. Dominus is available, but Fisher just trying to get some vision back, right? I'm surprised we don't see some focus from Fisher onto this Baron side. It's 2 minutes until Dragon. I think fighting for this vision is not that important right now. Maybe in like 30 to 45 seconds, you reset, get some wards in, buy a couple control wards on your jungler, on your support here, and then start clearing vision out. Because I think Fisher is liable to just rip this Baron potentially if they know that Illini is just going to hyper index on this Dragon and kind of overload that bottom side.
Yeah, and you see how fast this Ashe can auto-attack. That Baron will melt, right? And I remember, this ain't your mother's Baron, right? This is new Baron that is much tankier, but you can still, Ashe will just sit there and just fire away arrows upon arrows upon arrows. And that will mean that Illini needs to have a quick response on it.
Oh, we're back into the Udyr dimension. What happens in the Udyr dimension? Oh, we're out.
The gates.
You just kind of... the gates. So you're just in his mind while he's channeling.
Yeah, so Udyr's domain expansion is that you are on the map. You are stuck under your turret in the mid lane. You are 5 kills, but you're watching as this Udyr has broken the top inhibitor and the bottom inhibitor, right? And ZZ Rot portals back and everything like that. And you just realize that you can't stop him.
That's a dope domain expansion. ZZ Rot back is pretty OP. But we're back here into the game, and right now we're in that lull period. Both of these teams vying for positioning, and you see Fisher, they've got pretty good vision line for themselves. Illini is just going to try to walk up with Newbie. And if top lane 101's not here, I feel like Illini just can't walk in. Right? As Newsly is going to get...
They do find the way, and they're dumping everything they got on him, and he gets blown up instantly. Rollick does get tagged with the ultimate, but it's going to be a 5v4 for right now. Big double knockups.
DMK!
Knockups coming through Nautilus. Cages gets on to DMK. DMK, he's trying to cut it out, but he gets all over the wall. He's got to flash away and deal with the Kasante, but his team's trying to help him out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, it's Radar bearing down, able to take out the Nautilus, and you took a look at the backside. Look who lives with a sliver. DMK with barely enough blood in his big toe to keep him upright.
I said it was going to be a problem if this Kasante gets onto DMK. What I didn't say is that if Noob Sleep early goes down, there's nobody to help top lane 101 with this Ashe, with full sums and everything. Unfortunately, Kasante is not at that point where he can 1v9, and even then, when he uses that all out, he shreds all of his resistances. He becomes like butter. And so, DMK, being the hot knife that he is, slices through Kasante here, and that's going to allow them to pick up that Baron off of that big, big team fight win. Started off by DMK just firing the Legolas arrow into Noob Sleep Early's heart.
And Fisher could not have split that fight any better. Send Radar and Topo to deal with Senna Nautilus, and then play Get Down Mr. President with Sword Blue and Rallic on top of DMK, the only members that could save him. Teleport coming in. Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands onto the Nautilus. Nautilus going to get pulled in, taking a lot of damage, but Rallic is forced to flash back out. Let's take a look. DMK still very well protected. The entire front line's on top of him. He's untouched through this fight and just wailing away on these guys. They're losing HP by the second. Sword Blue even gets a kill. Cage is forced to try to get out of the pit, but he gets stunned and taken down. And Illini just get run down by the Frost Archer.
And we talked about the disengage potential from Fisher, right? The kite ability with the Maokai, with the Braum. DMK is so safe, man. He's safer than a baby in the Pentagon. That's how safe he is.
A baby in the Pentagon?
Right?
Well, Shibby.
How safe is that?
Shibby, you're assuming that this baby has national security clearance, right?
If he's in the Pentagon, he's got to have national security clearance.
You ever see that Key and Peele skit where he's trying to get on the plane? I just actually watched this one again last night. And like he's boarding group 1 and he has to wait to the end, and they call like veterans and like people in wheelchairs, and they call like, okay, military people in wheelchairs, okay, military babies in wheelchairs. Like that is the one who's got national security clearance right there. It's DMK as the fight breaks out once again, and DMK is still very well protected. Cages off to the side though, couldn't do much more. DMK, oh my god, look at the shielding, even gets knocked up. Newbie's on top of him, but DMK still alive, does get knocked up again, but he is just unkillable right now. Like, we thought that top lane 101 was going to be the guy who wouldn't go down. It's DMK instead. It's a 2-for-1 for right now, and Topo on a big flank here, just looking to get on top of some of these key members. Shut down for DMK, and the Croc is tanking it up. DMK just has to do a little bit more damage, but Rallic's shielding is crazy. This inhibitor is going down.
Yeah, this inhibitor is going to go down. Maybe the game potentially is they might fancy themselves this bottom lane inhibitor instead. Smart, well played, do it surgical. As DMK is like, guys, help! Guys, help!
DMK is actually stuck now. DMK will be fine, luckily. Nobody's fast enough to catch him, and he realized quickly enough that gotta get out through mid lane here.
Yeah, I could just walk it. It's fine here. DMK is going to cash in a big chunk of gold right now. Whoa!
Oh, the lollipop! What? Oh, that's huge! They catch DMK!
No!
What a hook by Newbie! He took the shutdown, but listen, he earned it.
No, that... Riot Games, come on! That was the biggest lollipop I've ever seen. It's like those carnival lollipops. The ones the size of your head!
I'm going to tell you why that should have landed. You see Nautilus's hook, right? And how it's got the one on the left, the hook on the left side and the right side. So he threw it, and then, logically, he's got to pull it back after he throws it. So on the time that he pulled it back, the left side of the hook, it caught on DMK's cape, it caught on Ash's cape, and pulled her in. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you know what? DMK, probably not happy about that one. Although, Newbie gets that 1,000 gold shutdown. Don't know how crucial it is for them as we take a peek at the gold at the top here. It's nearly 6,000 in the favor of Fisher right now. And DMK just so far ahead. Look at him. 14,000 gold. The highest income earner in this Fisher family here. He's in the top 1%, and he's definitely playing like it.
Yeah, he is living his best life right now. Got the penthouse suite and everything. He's got the nice new pinstripe suit. Hiring Harvey Specter as his lawyer if he gets any trouble. Like, you're living the La Vida Loca.
Yeah, this Dragon coming up in a minute and 20 seconds. Fisher should have control of this. They should start looking to muscle their way in as Radar. He's going to clear out that bottom side. He's going to start throwing the saplings down. And Illini, I feel like this is the fight they have to take, right? They definitely don't want to give Infernal Soul over to a team like Fisher, to a Karma, to an Ash, who are already ripping through you. Infernal Soul is just going to give them that much more oomph. I'm okay with Illini's decision to just bank the game on this fight. Win or lose, that's fine. But if you give them Infernal, you have like a, 5% chance of winning after that?
Well, Radar might be the target, and Cage is the target on the other side. Let's see who's got more damage first. Radar's got a lot more shielding and healing than Cage's does, and the rest of the fight is just going to look even worse for Illini because Topo's gotten onto the back line. Noob Sleep early is super low. Rollick flashes over the wall to get onto the back line. Sword Blue may have gone down, but guess who is still healthy? The carries of Fisher College. Refugo falls. There's a wave in the base. Shibby, they put this one to bed.
Double TPs coming in to start pushing those Nexus turrets down. DMK flashes over. He's like, I want to end this one. 31 minutes here and a monster performance from this Fisher College bot lane. We talked about DMK and Sword Blue not being any slouches. They're familiar with the top of Collegiate. They made top 8 last year, and they show why they are just the dominant.
On to Summoner's Rift, and one thing they got to watch out for is Radar. Then getting a ward onto where they think Radar is going to start would be paramount for the side of Illini.
Yeah, Radar liable to just gank you at level 2, right? We've seen tons of Sejuanis at the higher levels. They'll just go for a level 2. They'll go Q and they'll go E. And because they have the double solo lane, specifically melee, they're not worried about getting the proc off with the W, right? They're just going to headbutt you, charge in. And if you get caught by it, if you get misstep or you're too far pushed forward, you're gonna die almost immediately here, especially with Renekton and Silas, two of the best champions to proc that permafrost, because you have the auto resets with Silas with his passive and his Kingslayer, and you've got Renekton with the potential double stun into the double permafrost stack into one more auto, and you get stunned again here. Just a really, really good game for Radar to shine, and specifically this Fisher top side.
Yeah, we'll see if able to get the job done again. I guess you could have a relative guess of where the Sejuani is starting, but I am surprised that there's no more than that lone ward in the top side river, Shibby. You'd think that, no, there's a ward in the bottom lane bush too, I think. But again, still not a whole lot.
Yeah, I think Noob Sleep Early actually ended up spotting out Radar here, but because he's overextended, Rallick is going to get a cheeky little abduct onto Noob Sleep Early there.
Yeah, and nice job to chunk him out. Obviously, you know, melee into range, it's not supposed to go that well for you, but you get a nice early trade like that. Plus, you get a little bit of first strike gold in your pocket for that. Well done. Sword Blue is slower than molasses right now. DMK also taking a couple of auto attacks too.
Yeah, you're going to have to kind of take that walk of shame right now. Lethal Tempo Ash is just going to hammer into, and they want that, right? They want these nice extended trades because you got Lulu with the pick slow, you've got the E, you've got the autos coming in. Sword Blue and DMK really have to play around the Mantra Q timings, right? Stack that burst damage onto the right target, get the W down potentially as Rallick is going to eat a couple paintbrushes here and there, but DMK and Sword Blue, despite taking a ton of damage, do get that shove in, do get lane priority for Radar to potentially invade onto Cages here. If Rallick wants to, he could sack a wave potentially. He could trade super aggressively with Noob Sleep Early and just help Radar bully Cages out. Maokai, not the best champion in these skirmishes.
And they have no idea where the Sejuani is, and they're going to go for the full engagement. Lots of flashes burned, both Radar and Rallick's, but unable to take down Hui.
That's fine. You take that flash trade any day of the week because Rallick has an innate gap closer with that abscond abduct. If Noob Sleep Early is a little too far out, gets caught behind vision or something like that, right? Doesn't know where Radar is, it's really, really detrimental for this way. He doesn't have a lot of options for himself. He has to pretty much land that fear that he has in his kit onto Rallick to stave off any pressure. And that's a skill shot, right? And so Rallick has a lot heavier outplay potential. So we could see a regank from Radar into this mid lane very, very soon.
One thing to note here is that Refugo is down quite a bit of CS to DMK. Even after getting that early trade onto Sword Blue, you know, they were able to hit level 2 first on the side of Fisher, and they've been pretty okay since.
Top lane for Topo. As we do get into a pause, get to assess the situation just a little.
Back in the day, Shibby.
Oh, yeah.
As we get back here, and it was always nice little tidbits of lore there. And I do miss that. I do wonder if... wait a minute. Hold on. Let's take a look at this.
We're getting into that pause. Yeah, the
Record
freeze
scratch.
frame's looking deadly.
Record scratch. Yep, that's me. I bet you're wondering how I got myself into this situation, huh?
Noob sleep early, just not
All right,
paying attention
Shibby,
to
quickly,
vision.
what happens?
Radar's
I'll
gonna
let
kill
you
him.
call it. Let's see. Will they take him down? And it will be first blood going over to Rallick. Rallick's still alive. Are they going to be able to stun up cages? They are. Does this mean that Rallick's cooldowns are back? He didn't even need the cooldowns. It's a 2-0 in the mid lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Refugo flashing forward will be able to take out Sword Blue, but there's some big problems here. Newbie's got no mana left and has to deal with DMK's auto attacks. DMK rifling away, hitting the Q, just whoa, all right, can he hit him from downtown now? Because Newbie flashed away. DMK on the chase, wants to hit him. Flash, auto him, DMK, auto him.
Oh, DMK. I'm surprised he didn't charge the Q in the bush and then flashed over to get Newbie. Instead going for the flash E. Still a net positive for Fisher Falcons here, getting that double kill in the mid lane here. Rallick already sitting on the Catalyst of Aeons, building towards that Roa. Very, very close. Could be a very early Roa for him. Maybe 10 minutes, 9 minutes. That would be really nice. The Sword Blue roaming into this mid lane. Cages catches him out. So we do go back into the Udyr dimension. Whoa! Totally tubular.
I think I saw a lone wrecker.
Yeah, I think I saw a lot of visions from the past here. Topo, though, doing fine. Having a much better go at this Cassante. Give him a warm-up game. He's completely fine here. Rallick trading into Noob Sleep early. And despite everything that transpired, the skirmish in the bot lane, the skirmish in the mid lane, Fisher Falcons up a nice, chunky 2,000 gold lead.
Oh, yeah, they are chunking this game like it's salsa right now. Looking pretty good. Rallick 1-0-1. He's up CS. DMK's up CS right now. You take a look at the gold. Shibby 500 plus in the mid lane. 600 for Fisher in the jungle. And then, you mentioned top lane going a little bit better for Topo this time.
Yeah, very, very good there. And Fisher Falcons, seems like they have more control of this early game than they did in game one, right? They understood, hey, we were just on the flip side. We were just playing a comp similar to this. We know its weaknesses. We know its strengths. Let's hammer it in early. And I think that's where that Silas pick kind of came in at that last second. We got Renekton, we got Sejuani, we got Silas. Why not just give it to them very, very early and make it so that Illini have to dig themselves out of a 10-foot hole?
Yeah, and Illini hoping that hole doesn't get a little further. Cage's engagement here, but Rallick has the grasping roots to come out. Nice dodge, abscond, abduct, and they're just getting the job done. Noob Sleep early, the next target. No mana, no flash, no life left in this man. Oh, never mind. They just, again, it's the second time that we've seen somebody try to give over a kill, and it does not work out this time.
Yeah, he should have been dead. I am Newbie. Furiously pressing E to Newbie.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, help picks got over to him very, very quickly and doesn't make that play super disastrous. But you saw Rallick yoink Cages' ultimate and just use it against him. Very, very well played. Dodges out, like you said, that Bramble Smash, the Q that would have knocked Rallick away, but uses that abscond abduct. And yeah, Rallick just performing on this Silas, right? Just using this champion to its utmost efficiency, bullying out mid lane, going for these skirmishes. We talked about how you don't want to skirmish against Radar and Rallick. Look what Illini did. They went into the enemy jungle, they found trouble, and they paid for it dearly.
Cages has not had a great time right now. 0-2 is the bottom lane. Refugo is going to get rooted, and he is dead. Newbie has no mana left, and that will mean the ultimate for the various lands. Those Chains of Corruption, and second kill for DMK. Noob Sleep early is down here, but just can't do too much.
Maybe look for potentially a flash kill, but he doesn't have ultimate available. Doesn't have the ability to burst, and Sword Blue has all of their cooldowns up. Are they going to try to kill Noob Sleep early here? Yeah, there's no way. Radar just clearing out some vision. Dragon coming up in 2.5 minutes. Fisher, just really, really well played. Bottom lane winning the 2v2 for themselves. That route into the Blight stack combo, into Chain of Corruptions is absolutely lethal. And Radar, I think he's actually fine. Normally, he'd be in a bad place.
They go all the way in. The stun goes onto the Lulu. The grasping roots are out. Radar taking a lot of damage, but Rallick is there on top of Cages, looking to drive him off. Just needs a little bit more cooldowns, but Refugo doing a lot of damage for this point in the game. All out on the top side as Cassante and Topo go at it. Topo forced to flash over the wall, but top lane 101 looking to bring the pain. Class is in session. Solo kill for the Cassante in the top lane.
Rallick? All right, he's chill. He's got sword blue, but a nice 1v1 kill at the exact same breakpoint too, right? Top lane level 8. Top lane 101, level 8 on the Cassante. Takes Topo across the universe to the river and just able to pick up that kill onto the Renekton. Once again, on his first item, armor, power spike, Renekton just does not have a chance here. And Topo, although he felt confident, although he had a better time in the early game, top lane 101 reminding him why Cassante is one of the best top laners in League of Legends at the moment.
Yeah, Cassante is just... Cassante's been in the meta since he came out, right?
How many times have they changed him? How many times have they adjusted the guy? 4 different times since his release, and he's still just turbo busted? At some point, I think they're just going to have to fundamentally rework the champion.
Do you think he's going to turn out like Ryze? Because, like, I mean, this guy's insane. Like, when you hear what Cassante has, you know it's ridiculous, right? You know what Cassante has, right?
No, I have no clue. What is he?
He's got
maybe
4,700 HP, 329 armor, 201 MR, unstoppable, a shield, goes over walls, has airborne, cooldown is only 1 second too, and it costs 15 mana.
15 mana. That's
wild.
wild.
I think it actually costs.
Yeah. I think it has like 25 or something, but regardless, top lane 101 giving Topo the pain.
He's
Noob Sleep Early's gonna die!
Oh, the flash! Oh, he couldn't get the auto attack off. Noob Sleep Early does manage to survive. No sleep here.
Yeah, he's doing A-okay. And we talked about this Hui pick from Noob Sleep Early. I felt like he was getting caught out a little too much in the side lane, and you attributed that to the Ashe being in the game on the enemy team. You're right, picks happen more often, but he almost died there, and the Ashe is on his side this time. I just think Noob Sleep Early has not figured out or is not comfortable with the timings of Hui, right? Doesn't understand how long he can stay, how much time he has to get out. Is never mind. Cassante! Wow!
Grasping Roots coming out. They're going to engage onto Radar, and Rallick is pretty low too. Trying to help out the boy Radar, but look at the damage that gets done. Oh my Lanta! Radar taking some on the backside. Fight has gotten a little weird. I'm going to be quite honest. What are we looking at, Shibby?
We are looking at a freeze frame record scratch. You get weird or get out. So much damage being done.
Okay, what happened? All right.
At the end of the day,
died, Sword Blue died. Nobody else died on Illini. That's pretty bad.
3 for 1. Illini pick up a triple for themselves. And I think all of those kills actually went on to Refugo there. 3, 2, and 1 for himself. Newbie, the only one going down during that dragon fight. Rallick TP'd in. He wants Noob Sleep Early.
Yeah, Rallick gonna chase him down, and guess what? You're gonna go into the waiting arms of the Croc. Topo able to get 300 extra gold in his pocket. Now has that Eclipse as well. Don't know how much it's gonna help against Cassante though.
Yeah, he's not looking to ever fight Cassante in the team fight, right? He's going for Refugo. He's flashing onto him. He's throwing the Dominus, throwing the stun down, and just looking to completely burst out Refugo here. DMK on this Varus, I suspected it probably was going to be a lethality poke Varus, and it is with the Halo Blades. He's got the Yomu's Ghost Blade completed. He's working towards that Mana Immune. It's a little bit of a more, I'm not going to say scaling, but delayed power spike for DMK. Typically, the poke Varuses will go like Yomu's into Opportunity, into another lethality item. Going the tier gives you a little bit more oomph when that Mana Immune is fully stacked, and then you build another lethality item, but it takes a little longer, so it's not going to have that punch that it usually has in that mid game.
One thing that's really crazy here, Shibby, is that Fisher got 3 more grubs. They got the Drake. They got some plates, even though they had a fight that didn't go so well for them.
Whoa.
Well, in the top lane. Udyr Dimension in the top lane. I think, is that Searches over there?
Oh, I think I saw Chick-Chu-G's hairline. Anyways. Illini and Fisher battling back and forth, and it feels like Fisher had a lot of control over this early game, and then it got a little wacky, got a little wild, and Illini slowly but surely has been finding these opportunities. And Snoop Sleep early is just dead.
He's been caught out time and time again. You saw it in the last sequence in the jungle. You see it here now. Brolic picks up his second kill of the game. Sparkling stat line.
Yeah, 2-0-5 on this Silas pick. And he has yet to really enter any of these like 5v5 team fights, right? As Radar's going to steal this. Brolic coming in with the Stolen Hwei ultimate.
Yeah, here he comes. He's going to land it onto Refugo. This is going to be a 3v1 because he's out of the fight, but Refugo gets bursted out. Radar ends up dying, but Brolic is looking to chase down the Lulu cages. Looks like he should be able to escape, but Newbie, there's just no way you'll be able to survive against this. Oh, maybe? Maybe? Okay, maybe you will actually be able to survive against that. Cages came back and then gets rooted and rooted and rooted some more. And one more auto attack will be able to take him down. The shields from Newbie have actually been insane. And Noob Sleep early turns it around. Oh, man. Illini is just doing everything they can to keep their team alive. Credit to Newbie.
I feel so bad, Yanni, because, like, yeah, in 3 separate moments, they should have died. An auto gets canceled, a shield comes in last second, and they don't die for whatever reason. Illini have like the Grace Angels, blessing on top of them because they have lived with a sliver of HP every single time, and a last-minute shield has come in to help them clean it up. I mean, Illini playing by the skin of their teeth. That is the best way I could say it.
Yeah, Newbie is just playing out of his mind right now. The stolen Ash ult means that Refugo is dead. You can't save that one, Scott Sterling, as a kill goes over to Swordblade.
And a really nice snipe from Ralik. Yoinks the Ash ultimate, throws it down mid lane, says, hey, if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let me know what happens after, because he was pathing bot lane. He didn't care. He's like, you guys clean it up. I got to deal with Hwei in the bot side here. And with that pick, they're about to get this Rift Herald that spawned about a minute and a half ago, almost 2 minutes now. Really, really nice play from Fisher. 6 grubs, Herald, Dragon coming up in about a minute and 45 seconds here. You can drop the Herald prior to the Dragon to cause some pressure either on the top side. You take tier 2 mid. You force Illini as another arrow hits in the mid lane. We see some action in the mid lane.
Yeah, things are going down here. Rooted up is Sword Blue. Sword Blue going to try to deal some damage to Newbie, but is caught all alone. Forced to flash away. Top lane 101. Was sequestered from the rest of the team. Sword Blue taking a whole lot of damage, but Chains of Corruption gonna land. And now, will they see a re-engage? It's a 4v3 for right now, but Topo, DMK, and Radar feeling this one out for right now. They are a little worried.
DMK just doesn't have that damage, right? We talked about it. The delayed power spike of this Manamune Varus versus the double lethality items. At this point, he might have been able to bring a little bit more lethality, might be at that 2-item power spike, but instead opting to delay it, looking for a little bit more power, come to the mid game, into the later part of the game here. And so they're not going to be able to fight that. They probably wanted to. Topo still had Dominus available. Radar was still real healthy, but DMK just couldn't bring it in. And if Ralik's not there, Fisher won't fight, right? They won't go for that 4v4. They won't go for that 4v3. Ralik is a big part of the damage profile for Fisher right now. Up until DMK finishes that Manamune stacking, then they can really start looking for some of these more split fights, the 1-3-1, the 4-1, that kind of stuff. Illini in pretty good hands right now. The gold lead hasn't really gone above 2,000.
Yeah, and why would Fisher fight? Because they do have the Rift Herald available. As you see, top lane 101 is just absolutely schooling Topo. Topo flashing away means that this Cassante who went all out has to go out.
Yeah, gets the flash for his ultimate. That's a really nice trade. Dominus not available. Top lane 101 or Cassante still going to be relevant without the ultimate, right? All out, be damned. He's still going to be able to TP to the team fights. Renekton without Dominus is a little weak, right? He turns into a crocodile into like a little baby alligator, right? Steve Irwin can wrestle him down. That's how not menacing Topo is without Dominus.
Yeah, you've seen the TikToks of the guy who goes in the Florida Everglades and just messes around with the Crocs. Like, those are the Crocs that we're dealing with right now without Dominus, right? Now, the Crocs with Dominus are the one that, Steve Irwin almost fed his kid to. Ralik, Gonna hit the grasping roots here. Cassante goes unstoppable, but it's going to be Maokai the target, who gets very low. Does get a little bit of help from the Lulu. Stun on the backline, but Refugo is free hitting. Down goes Topo. Refugo is cosplaying DMK this fight. Unable to charge any further. It's a 1-0 for right now. Radar is the next target. Looks like he will be able to get away, but Illini is going to start the Drake.
Yeah, they do want to start it here. And we talked about Topo not really having that dominance available, not being that menacing, and he pays with it for his life. Although, Fisher want to fight this. TP coming for the backside. Rallick!
Yeah, Rallick is coming in top lane 1-on-1 on top of 2 targets. Knocks them both up, but Rallick gets onto the back line. Newbie is low, but top lane 1-on-1 doing his thing. DMK is just looking in 5 different directions this fight. He can't see. His aligned eyes aren't working very well. He's looking for the snipe. He can't quite get Newbie, but here comes the teleport from Topo. There's a lot of very low health bars. They root him up, they stun him up, and they kill Newbie. And ends up only being a 1-for-1. Still a lot of low health bars. Charging up the arrows, DMK. Doesn't do a whole lot to top lane 101. And finally, Fisher forced to back off Illini, bully their way in.
Illini taking advantage of the splintered dive from Fisher, right? Topo going in, dying. Rallick going in, not being able to get a kill. Once Rallick backs, Topo tries to TP back in with Dominus. And you know what? They're like, we can turn on this guy. Despite the Dominus being active, they've got more than enough damage on the Illini roster to just burn him completely. The key to Fisher's success in these team fights is both Rallick and Topo diving in together, right? They are dive buddies together. And when they get somebody low, DMK and Sword Blue can then bring the chase on with the Mantra E, potentially with these arrows to finish out some of these kills. Fisher just not really playing to their composition strengths, I would say there, right? The Splinter dive allowed UIUC to divvy up the task and focus on one champion at a time, and they're able to get the dragon, they're able to get the fight win, and they're able to put themselves in a very, very slight gold lead.
We just hit the 20-minute mark in this game. Should be actually closer to 21 minutes, and Illini up just a couple hundred gold. Take a look at who they've got it on. Bot lane, it's a negligible difference. That mid lane, still a big lead for Rallick. Jungle, pretty well in Radar's hands, but that top lane, oh man, it is a canyon.
Yeah, it's a cavern, the 10-foot hole that we talked about here in top lane 101. A lot more productive, getting a lot more value out of this Cassante than he did in game 1 here. And it's tough for Fisher, right? It's hard to deal with, because look, you just try to do damage to him. He doesn't even have that much MR.
There's a split fight here. There's a split fight. Radar is completely cut off. Sword Blue's trying to help him out, but Noob Sleep early is behind. DMK has to walk toward the Cassante, whiffs the ultimate. They do take out the Cassante, and now they go find the Ashe. Big stun. Refugo flashes away, but they're stuck in the pit. They're stuck in the pit. DMK is dead. Refugo is low but still alive. Rallick trying to come around from the side, but they spotted him out. There's just no way that they're going to be able to take him down, and now Rallick running for his life. Cages looks to chase him down. They do spot him out on a ward. Rallick, though, remember Kingslayer and what it can do. The polymorph is going to be available for Newbie. The dash away goes into Cages. Will he be able to get it down? Takes a lot of damage and does fall. There are no more Cages here.
Shutdown going over to Refugo, a big chunk of gold, and he's going not the Kraken Slayer Ashe that we saw from DMK in game 1, but instead Triforce, Kraken Slayer. He wants to move speed. He wants to be able to kite you out. He wants to do as much damage as possible here. Refugo in a very similar position from game 1 from DMK on this Ashe, primed to carry, and he's got his own bodyguards with top lane 101 and Cages ready to do the peeling. Sword Blue eats a giant ultimate. Is he gonna die? No, he's fine. Gets chunked out to about 25% HP. And these fights for Fisher not going the way. These dived, splintered fights is not the move. We need to see Topo, we need to see Rallick together onto one target, burst them out, move on to the next, right? Use the numbers advantage to the best ability that they can here, but Illini not giving them that opportunity. Death balling up, Cages with the ultimate, Newbie with the polymorph, with the ultimate coming out onto Refugo.
Wild growth.
Just wild growth. Thank you, Yanni. The wild growth coming out, and just Refugo's unable to die.
Yeah, you saw that last fight. Refugo got hit flush by a Sejuani ultimate. Now, DMK and Rallick were not in the area to be able to close out on the kill, but Refugo did take a lot of damage, but again, still managed to survive. a big reason why the fight was won by Illini. And Fisher's got to be feeling a little wary here because they are starting to fall behind, and nobody can contain this Cassante right now.
No, nobody can deal with him, and he hasn't really picked up another full tank item. TP does come in.
Noob Sleep Early is going to take a little bit of damage. It didn't do as much as I thought it would, but you take a look at Ralik's build. A lot of his damage is in his auto attacks with that Lichbane.
Yeah, Roa, Lichbane, a beefier, chunkier guy.
They're going to fire on top of Newbie, but Newbie will be able to flash away. And the re-engagement here, double rooted up. Cages, they're going to focus Radar down first. Radar is getting some shields, but they are going to trade jungle for jungler here as the red buff burns Radar away.
Yeah, Refugo just free firing onto Radar. He's got Frozen Heart and a couple prayers and dreams, right? He doesn't really have much more than that, right? He's got a little bit of MR coming out with that Spectre's Cowl. He's sitting on a Bombies. He just picked up, I believe, that Negatron cloak here. And so, realistically, Radar, not the typical tanky Sejuani that we see. So he's going to get rifled down by Refugo, who's almost at that 3-item mark here. But Triforce Kraken Slayer, more than enough damage. Topo is around half health. I don't know if Fisher want to throw the game for a singular Cloud Drake. It's just the third one. Give it away. Get your lane states in order because Illini has top pushing, they've got mid pushing, and after this dragon, they're most likely to get bot lane pushing. Don't throw the game away for this dragon.
Fisher trying to land their poke. Meanwhile, Illini just setting their sights on the Drake now. Over to Topo. It is a very split
turn on
fight here.
Topo.
Topo is getting chased down. He gets arrowed, and he has to Dominus away. He is getting chased down. Noob Sleep Early is looking to close out the kill. Does hit him with that ultimate, which means Topo is popoed. Now, 5v4. The roots are coming out. 1, 2, only 2. But Radar's the target, and he is just going down. He had some dreams, but those dreams turned to nightmares as Illini pick up yet another kill and another Drake on their ledger. Alas, didn't get it.
He's fine, but that's going to let Illini go towards that Baron. They're just going to let it rip. Radar down for 25 seconds. Topo does have TP, doesn't have Dominus available. Fisher are going to try their best, potentially, to stop this Baron. Ralik with this TP on the Silas has ultimate available, is probably going to look to steal Cage's ultimate. But this Baron's going to go down very, very quickly. Swordblue and DMK are in the area. Can they stop it?
You're going to have to try. DMK a little low on mana. This Baron is still going. It looks like they're trying to turn, but it's a bit of a split call. Swordblue gets bursted a lot. Chains of Corruption go out. Cage's flashes on top. They target DMK. He's polymorph. He flashes away, and he lives for right now. Cages gets rooted, and Cages goes down. The next target is top lane 101. Radar's not even there.
Oh!
The top lane 101 is left all alone because Ralik went really deep, and they get a shutdown onto the Ashe, and top lane 101 has no mana. Topo wanted some revenge, but they've driven off Illini, and now it's Fisher's time to take the Baron.
The counter Baron throw here for Illini. We talked about what Ralik was looking for. He was looking to steal the Grasping Roots from Cages. Takes that, even though Maokai was able to flash engage onto DMK, there just wasn't enough follow-up. You talked about it, Yanni. It was a split decision. Couple people were DPSing Baron. Couple people wanted to turn. You need to be all in when you turn or whether you DPS the Baron. In situations like that, that's how you throw it, and Fisher take full advantage of the confusion, full advantage of their ability to stall out the Baron, and letting Ralik just go to town on this Illini roster.
It's like the SpongeBob meme where he's looking at the book and he's got one Illini one way and one the other. Yeah, I'm making that joke twice. As Illini, they had this game, I think. I think they were just climbing up the mountain slowly but surely after what was a rough start, and then they go to put their hand down and the rocks break and they start tumbling down. We'll see if they can dust off themselves, put some Neosporin on those scrapes, and get back to brawling. 28 minutes in, Shibby. Let's see what Fisher can do with this.
Yeah, I mean, the real tricky part is how are they going to end up setting these sieges, right? Lanes weren't pushing in their favor. Now they've got a 1-3-1 split going. Karma Varus, beautiful at sieging. Radar from the backside, but Cage is going to catch him with an ultimate.
Yeah, DMK was cleansed by the Mikhails.
Oh my
Cage is
God.
very low. But Ralek has the Lulu ultimate as well. Sword Blue onto the side, but top lane realized that he needs to be with the rest of his team. 2 members go down. Refugo's the next target. They're on top of Ralek, but Ralek lives long enough. Radar chasing down Refugo, and Refugo wins that fight. And now you have to try to peel for DMK, but you can't. Low health bars, but Sword Blue's playing support Karma. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough, and he goes down. An inexplicable fight from Fisher. I thought they had it for sure.
Yeah, and Topo's going to die here. Yeah, Noob Sleep Early. They went for a 1v1 in this bottom lane, and Noob Sleep Early is going to give him the ace. UIUC with a miracle team fight. Refugo refuses to die.
That's a huge mistake by Radar in that last fight. I know you want to go after Refugo, but after a little bit, you got to try to peel back. Your carries are back there. You know how big that Cassante is. He's only died once for a reason. He's got a copy pasta about him for a reason.
He's 7-1-4. They first picked this right for top lane 101. Despite not having so much effectiveness in game 1 with his flanks, he's a new man. He's a new changed champion. He's able to 1v5, all of Fisher right now. It's looking rough, and Dragon coming up in a minute. UIUC are going to look for that Cloud Zone. It's going to make the whole team that much more slipperier, right? Cages, Refugo, Noob Sleep Early, top lane 101. If he all's out, good luck getting away from those Entofo strikes. Although Fisher are going to muscle their way back in. They're going to remove some of the vision. Radar, though, brother, you're not that tanky. I know you picked up the Kanik Rukern, but we saw what Refugo did to you.
Ralek has a key ultimate, those grasping roots. Newbie got chunked. DMK does a lot of damage. Top lane 101 moving forward. Ash ult does not land on anybody. Radar is split from the rest of the team. Here come the grasping roots. 1, 2, 3 members rooted up, but the counter grasping roots is just as good. Radar stuck in the back of the pit. Will go over the wall to regroup with his team. Topo not in the area, but starting to make his way up.
They haven't marked him yet. UIUC doesn't know where he is. They should be able to see him. Oh, he snuck in. He's going to get right behind him.
No,
Topo, what?
Oh, I think he thought they knew, and you can see they're trying to chase him down. Topo trying to get away. They're using a lot of their blue trinkets, and now it's Refugo and Newbie trying to get on top of him. Topo flashing away, but he's going to get a little bit closer. But on the other side of the fight, Cassante is stuck with everybody else. It's a matter of, can Fisher take out Cassante before the Renekton goes down? That Renekton went down. Cages is still alive. Radar getting low. Ralek marked by the ultimate. Getting slowed, getting bursted just a little bit. Radar forced off again. Flash knockup. Radar is dead. Ralek, Sword Blue, and DMK running scared. Top lane 101 bearing down onto DMK. DMK forced to ghost away, but top lane 101 can go over the wall. Newbie gets bursted out by Ralek, and now they're going to try to work back here. Dragon's Soul secured for Illini.
That's when you need to pull the trigger. I feel like Topo revealed himself to UIC when he got out of that bush. That was a perfect pinch. I don't think they marked Topo in that fight. UIC had no clue where Renekton was. If the collapse comes in, if Renekton pops the Dominus, flashes onto Refugo, chunks him out, that gives more than enough time for Fisher to close the mandibles of this pincer attack. Instead, he reveals himself, he gets chased, and you already know this Renekton's going to go down way before this Cassante is. Cassante is just built, designed, created differently to 1v5.
He's built different, and you're seeing this game, although the build is pretty similar to what you'd see, he's going to be pretty much done in just a moment here. Just has to upgrade that Bramble Vest, and you know what that's going into. Bad news for Fisher. After losing out on that Baron, it means Illini was able to take control of this game. Shibby, we're 32 and a half minutes in. I still don't think we have a definitive winner yet. It's just a matter of if this Cassante can go down. Topo can be the hero here and need to make a big play, but he's going to get engaged on by everybody else. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does land. It's a 3v1, and Topo is just all damage, no tank, and getting picked there is massive.
Yeah, right before this Baron coming on 15 seconds, although we did see what happened to UIUC the last time they tempted Mother Baron here. Will they be the same, or will they finally have all their ducks in a row? Will they be onto the same call? Ralek, 4 items on this Silas. We praised his performance in the early game, but now he's got to show up in this late game, in this mid game. All the meanwhile top lane 101 TP available is just pushing that bottom lane down. You need to pull the trigger. It's either a 4v4 right now, or you try to fight while the TP is there. I Am Newbie takes a massive, massive chunk from DMK. The Manamune is stacked. He's got Cyrildas. He's got another Edge of Night and Yomu's. Poke, poke, poke is the name. Top lane 101 is just removing the bottom lane inhibitor turret.
Rallick missed the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so he's got nothing available. Teleport coming in, and here come the Grasping Roots. Multiple members getting rooted up. Cage is a little low, and Radar is going to be the target. Teleport coming in from Topo. The Radar flashes out. Rallick goes in. A lot of low members here. There's a chance for DMK to do a lot in this fight, but Cassante is just frontlining, but split off on the other side. It's a double kill for Rallick. Cassante is going to be the next target. He's not as tanky because he went all out, and they managed to take them down. It's a clean ace for the Fisher Falcons.
The Fisher Falcons come up big when your backs are against the wall, when you've only got 10 chips onto the poker table. You throw it all in onto Rallick, and he will perform a triple kill on this Silas. We praised his early performance. Now they're gonna go for the end game. They've got the grubs as well. It's Void Mites. It's done. They can push in. UYUC. They throw the game right over to Fisher Falcons, and they say, thank you very much.
That's my Baron. Great, now let him have it. You can have it. That's what happened first. Allowed Fisher to get back into the game, and then another Baron dance not going the way of Illini. Baron dance, very much unlike Dragon Dance, reduces your attack and defense. Not very good.
Some would argue the Baron dance reduces your IQ.